Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to episode number 501 of NoDQ&A video right here on NoDQ.com, as well as the YouTube channel and NoDQ&A videos affiliate, RingsideNews.com. We got a lot going on here in the world of WWE. We were just coming off Battleground, we had Raw, and now we have SummerSlam coming up in less than a month. So SummerSlam quickly coming around the corner here. Let's get started with your questions from spring.me/AaronRift. First one today from Chris Mace 39628. Please answer in video. When Jack Swagger versus Rusev happens again at SummerSlam, should Swagger be the one going over? Well, right now, I think the bigger question is, will this match even take place? There's been a lot of rumors and a lot of talk about the Rusev character and the whole storyline possibly being dropped. At first, there was talk about just flat out dropping the Rusev character following the Malaysian tragedy. But now we've seen what happened at Battleground. Rusev not only did not lose, but he defeated Jack Swagger via countout. And based off of that finish, it felt like that feud was going to continue. But as we saw in Raw, there was no Jack Swagger, and it certainly looks like they might be either toning down the storyline, maybe waiting a few weeks for the heat to die down, or maybe they're just going to flat out drop it, which I really hope is not the case because it's been a hot feud, and as I mentioned in previous videos, Jack Swagger has been getting a lot of momentum out of this storyline, and it would be a shame if they don't continue this feud. And you could certainly do a big match for them at SummerSlam, and Hulk Hogan is going to be part of SummerSlam weekend this year. He's going to be part of the SummerSlam discussion panel, so one would think there's a decent chance he'll be at the SummerSlam pay-per-view. And I was thinking a good storyline you could do for SummerSlam is have Swagger versus Rusev, and then have Hulk Hogan come to the aid of Jack Swagger, and you can have Hulk Hogan endorse Swagger. That would be a good way to utilize Hulk Hogan and end that feud on a high note with Hulk Hogan and Jack Swagger doing the posing, doing the We the People, and I think Swagger would get the rub off of Hogan. So, I mean, that's at least what I would do for SummerSlam, but who knows what's going to happen. Maybe it's just WWE waiting for the heat to die down, and that's why they didn't follow up on the storyline during Raw. So we'll have to wait and see if Swagger's back on Raw next week. All right, this one comes from Philly Reese 215. Paul Heyman has left Cesaro, or should we say Cesaro left Paul Heyman. Can we now say that the pairing was a bad creative decision? Please answer in video. Well, definitely at this point, now that the pairing is officially over, one could definitely say it was a disappointment, much like the Paul Heyman pairing with Ryback and Curtis Axel. And as I mentioned in previous videos, I really feel that the blame has to be put on the writing team, not Paul Heyman, not Cesaro. If anything, Paul Heyman did his best to try and make it work, but at the end of the day, WWE wanted Paul Heyman to go out there and keep reminding people that Brock Lesnar conquered The Undertaker's undefeated streak at WrestleMania. And, that's the big match for SummerSlam. That's the money match that WWE wanted to put together and have Paul Heyman keep Brock Lesnar's name out there. So, that was their focus, and Cesaro was kind of a bit player, unfortunately. And this leads to the next question here from Spectre World. Do you think Cesaro is better off without Paul Heyman? That remains to be seen. I think that a lot of it just depends on how Cesaro is booked. I think that Paul Heyman could have helped him a lot more. I think with Cesaro, having a mouthpiece is good for him because he's not the best talker, and Paul Heyman was a guy that could have gotten over Cesaro verbally. So, I mean, time will tell. I wonder if it's too late with Cesaro. I wonder if WWE has lost the opportunity to capitalize on him when he was hot, and I don't know if he's going to be hot again. But once again, a lot of it depends on the writing team. If they really push him strongly, I think that he could get over again without a guy talking for him. And before, he had Zeb Coulter doing the talking. So we'll have to wait and see. I mean, Cesaro's definitely got the skills in the ring to get over. I mean, that there's no question about that. So if WWE focuses on his strengths and they hide his weaknesses, he could very well still be a huge star in WWE at some point. All right, this one comes from Daniel N. 1995. Hey Aaron, do you think that the WWE's match quality has improved in the past 2 years now that they are focusing a lot more on tag team matches and giving matches more time? Absolutely, I would definitely agree with that opinion. I really feel that WWE's roster is as strong as it's ever been. Maybe better 6 months ago when you had CM Punk and Daniel Bryan. But you look at guys like Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose and even Roman Reigns, as well as the Usos and the Wyatts, and you got Chris Jericho out there. The WWE roster in terms of in-ring talent has been tremendous over the past year or so. As I mentioned, it's the creative that's really the big problem in WWE. I think that if you had a better creative process in WWE and the storytelling was better and more compelling, you would have a really entertaining WWE product. You still do to some degree with the talent, and you can count on quality matches in the current WWE landscape. But yeah, I mean, compared to any other period, maybe the best period in WWE was 2003 when you had Benoit and Kurt Angle and Chris Jericho, all those guys in WWE. But right now, I mean, it is tremendous. So hopefully at some point WWE has a turnaround with creative, and you could very well see a WWE product that is at a higher level than what it's been in the past. All right, this one comes from John Chana. Do you think with the build-up towards Battleground that we could see a unification match between Miz and Sheamus? And if so, who do you think will win? Well, that has certainly been the talk for the past several weeks, the possibility of a unification match at SummerSlam. That's one reason why I didn't think Sheamus would win the Battle Royal, because I felt that it would be better to have somebody else win the IC title and then do a unification one-on-one match at SummerSlam. So there's certainly a good opportunity to do it if you're going to unify those titles, just like the WWE and World Heavyweight titles were unified. To me, it doesn't really matter because neither title means much, but I could very well see them doing that, unifying the titles and just having one mid-card champion. And, somebody else asked me if this unification match was to happen, which title would be dropped. My guess would be the U.S. title because the IC title is WWE's baby. And, I could just see them getting rid of the U.S. title altogether. Or maybe even introducing a new title, maybe starting a brand new championship. That's always a possibility as well, and that could get people excited about having a new title and giving that title a fresh start and trying to make it meaningful. So that's also something that they could do. All right, this one comes from The Wrestler Man. Hello, Aaron. Congrats on 500 episodes. What do you think of the logo change to the WWE Network on everything? I'm perfectly fine with the new logo. To me, it's fine. It's just tweaking the old logo a bit. And it is something I feel has needed to be done for a long time, changing up the logo. They've had the same scratch logo now for, what has it been, 16, 17, 18 years? About 16 years, I think, if my math is correct. 16, 17 years, something like that, since the end of 97 when they introduced the WWF scratch logo. It's been long overdue to have a logo change. And I'm already used to the new logo. I mean, when I first saw it, I thought it was a little weird looking, but just because it's something new and it's a change from what we've been used to. But now I'm used to the new logo, and I'm perfectly fine with them making that the full-time logo. All right, one more question here from Dre Robinson 100. Do you think that having The Miz win the IC title was a good idea? If not, who do you think should have won? In my opinion, Dolph Ziggler should have won. Well, I think that judging on the crowd reaction at Battleground, Dolph Ziggler would have been the best choice to win the IC title. But then again, if you're going to do Sheamus versus The Miz in a possible unification feud, you want to have a heel versus a babyface. And, it appears WWE is not going to turn Sheamus, which was rumored for a long period of time. So you have to have a heel challenge him. And I also felt that a heel was going to win the Battle Royal just because Wade Barrett was a heel as IC champion. And I think the idea was to have another heel basically just take the role that Wade Barrett had. So I figured going in that either Cesaro or Miz were going to win that match, and as it turns out, Miz won. He just came back, so they wanted to do something big with him. So I would have gone with Miz, and I mentioned Cesaro, and if anything, I felt that maybe Cesaro winning would have been bad for him, just because, as I mentioned a few moments ago, the IC title really means nothing at this point, and it labels you a mid-carder essentially. So I'm fine with Miz winning and being the IC champion, and like I said, they want to do the unification match, fine by me. I really don't have a problem with it. Alright, that'll wrap it up for this edition of NoDQ&A video. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, please share it on Facebook and Twitter. Stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the latest regarding SummerSlam. I will be there at Staples Center for the 6th straight year to cover SummerSlam for NoDQ.com, so make sure you stay tuned to NoDQ.com. Follow me on Twitter and Facebook, and I will see you guys next time for another edition of NoDQ&A video.